Hey, I'm Leroy.
Hey, I'm Kat.
And we're going to run you through all the gear that we're using currently on this US tour.
We're also a band called the Gooch Palms from Australia. And we've got this compact little thing, which is our gear.
Well, let's go. Let's dig in. Well, let's start with the thing that I always start with is my guitars. Huge shout out to Heath from Fender for hooking me up with these Jackson guitars. These are my dream guitars. I'm always been a big fan of metal and stuff. So let's have a look at it. This one's called Blade, and it's got a few stickers already on it. Suck people, not straws. And I removed the plastic backing on it just to make it easier to restring, basically, because I don't have a guitar tech. I replaced the Floyd Rose because I'm not going to use a Floyd Rose with this company. I think they're called Scheller. I'm pretty sure. I think they're from Germany. But I ordered two of these, and they're the only ones that fit in place of a Floyd Rose if you don't want one. It's a little expensive, but super easy to install. And then that little bit of tape is basically just temporarily covering the little hole that the Floyd Rose leaves. I don't change my tone at all, but I have a tendency of like hitting it. So basically that's what that tape is. Basically, the reason why it's here, I'm using these two pickups here, which are just the stock ones. I don't use that at all, because we don't have a bass player, and I find that a little brighter. So I basically have that kind of leaning that way, so it has a little bit more brightness to it, and then that one dead straight to have the bottom end. And then I took off the locking nuts so I can tune it between songs, because like I said, I don't have a guitar tech, and these things, require a little bit of time, and I'm the only one playing guitar, so if something goes wrong, I need to be able to grab the other guitar. And basically, the two guitars I'm going to show you, they sound exactly the same because they have the same pickups, and it's been really cool because they sound the same. We use in-ears, so I've just been alternating between the two guitars each night to save on changing strings a lot of the time. The strings that I use are a little heavier. They're Diodaria 10 to 52s. I would say that I'm a bass player by trade. So I found the 52s up here a little bit thicker, a little bit like more, and that's why I like the jumbo frets on the Jackson too, because it just kind of reminds me of playing a bass a little bit more. But the body is super light, so you can perform super easy with it. Everything is up 100% all the time, with the tone and volume. I don't really touch any of them because I don't need to, because of my pedal board's set to do that for me, basically. So yeah, everything is just, This is a Hyper. And a similar thing, got the only reason that this one's kind of straight, I think that must be the difference I found when I screwed it so it was feeling that way. It was a little of a harsher sound, so dead flat, and it kind of gives off the same sound as the last one. Similar thing, volume up, and then the locking nut's gone, and then same thing on the back, just to make it easier for myself to change the strings on tour. So on the front here is basically the main thing is the Kemper, an awesome company, I think from Germany. My friend Zach, he was the first person to tell me about this a while ago, and I kind of saved up and got one. And what it basically does is it profiles amps, it's not digital. But what's cool about it, there's a whole community of Kemper people out there, so you can download people's profiles for free, and then the users rate how good that profile is. So you can actually go up on the Kemper website and hit 5 stars, and then so basically my clean tone is a Fender Reverb from the late 60s, early 70s, and then I use the Cherub Rock Pumpkins that was the reissue of the Billy Corgan Muff, and that's my dirty tone. And then I just have a really quite clean tone, because like I said, with the guitars I don't touch any of the volume, so I just have another setting that just brings the volume down and makes it slightly cleaner. But I mean, this thing can do 1 billion times more than what I just described. But for me, it's this whole box only weighs 22, maybe 23 kilos, so for touring the world and all that, this has been the best thing ever. And then move up to Fender bass head, and basically this just runs, you can see here the bass is turned all the way up, and it basically, you can't really hear it, you more feel it. It just basically runs the bottom end because we don't have a bass player. And then up here is the Behringer MS8000. That is basically you plug in 8 lines and then it splits it, so you've got 16 outs, and 8 of the outs go to the front of house, and then 8 of the outs go into the back and then into our ears, so we can do our own in-ears. And then on top of here we have the Roland SPD SX, and basically that just runs all our 808 backing tracks for our song Martha. And then we also do a cover of Talking Heads' Psycho Killer. So it just has a 808 backing track, and it just runs out mono, so there's nothing really to that. But the Apple router, so basically that is like a local connection that our phones connect to, and then we can mix our own monitors. And then we have the dual Sennheiser, which allows me and Kat to have a mono send out of the back, so Kat can mix her ears and I can mix my own ears, and we can both be happy. And then for our own ears, this is our Allen and Heath QUSB, and it comes with an app, and basically all these lines are on our iPhone, and then we connect it and we just plug everything in.
We just use these little packs. I'm just using the things that come with it. Eventually we'll probably get some molded in here.
Yeah, and I'm just doing the I'm sort of still trying to get comfortable a little bit with them, but I'm doing the Shure. Just, I think these are the cheapest ones, but they seem to stick in my ear a little bit better. But
he sweats and they pop out, and I don't sweat, so
yeah, so it's a little
in.
bit new and interesting. But yeah, it's been really good for our voices, because that's the one thing to go on when you're doing 2 or 3 month tours, because you know the sound guy's at the back, and it's not his fault when you don't have good monitors because they can't tell. So we thought, let's get rid of that whole equation and eliminate that. And thank you, Billy, our sound guy back in Australia, for setting up the app and all that, because we built this and we put it all in ourselves, and then went, oh fuck, we don't know how to use it.
Yeah, we don't know how to do anything.
Yeah, so thanks Billy, appreciate it. Kemper also makes this pedal board, and basically I have my show, so that's the Fender Reverb that I was telling you about is my verse, and then I go to there, which is a big muff, but then it also just has like a little bit of like a clean tone, so it's not just like super distorted, so you can kind of just like whack that on and off for different songs, so not every chorus is the same. If it's sort of like a more of a mellow song, I'm able to just like kind of semi-bypass it where it turns the gain down, so it's like a gain thingy, and then that's just like if I do like a little solo or something, and for our song Ask Me Why, it has a octave pedal and muff pedal and chorus on it, and then this one is just the super bright, super clean Fender Reverb, so I don't have to turn the volume down. And then this is just like, if I accidentally hit it through a show, it's a blend between these two. So if for whatever reason I like a bit sloppy, like coming off this one, or I try to hit this one, I hit this one, it'll just kind of be like a sort of clean, dirty sound. It's more of a just a fail-safe. It's the fail-safe pedal, so it won't be like and it doesn't have a whole lot of volume, but if I happen to do it and I'm performing and I don't want to be like looking down again, it'll still sound cool to the people listening to it out the front. So yeah, that's there. And then what I did was I have a tendency, so basically what you can do with this, if you're in a band that like you have a lot of different like sounds and all that, you can actually like move through scenes with it. But for me, because we're kind of primitive rock and roll, we only really need these they're basically like 3 different gain stages, just like kind of there, and then really there. That's the best way to describe it. But the reason why I have scenes is it's the same sound for 10 scenes. So if I accidentally go to hit this pedal and I hit it like that and it goes to scene 2, it's going to be
It sounds
exactly
like you've
the
got a
same.
lot of backup plans in case you accidentally
Yeah,
do
and
something.
like I've had this camper for about 3 years, so it's about 3 years of making mistakes, and I'm still learning every day with it. And if Kemper, you're watching, I would love an endorsement. Thank you. I remember we looked in the back of our van on one tour, and I was like, why the hell do we have this much equipment? There's only the 2 of us, and I think we lost the reason why we started this band was to be not much equipment and just have fun every night, and we've now got
Now
it
it's
down
all
to
in here.
I just have that box and them guitars, and then Kat just has her drums over there, and that's what we're down to now. So it just makes touring a lot more fun, and it just makes load in and out way better. And we do our own merch, so to have a quick load out is unreal, because the anxiety of doing merch and then knowing you've still got an hour left of packing up takes way longer. Now it's not like that. We can both do merch, or we can both go out and talk to people after the show and know even if that's not packed up, it's only like maximum 10 minutes before it's all done. This tour has been awesome, just with how much gear we've got. We've kind of just narrowed it all down.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. This orange guy, if I plug it in, I guess this is the beginning of the whole thing. So that's just my guitar plugs in there. And that's my bass signal. So basically this is a 3-way splitter. I don't have a third thing. So that's just bass would be coming out, like not guitar, but like the bottom end signal. And then that's the Kemper there. And then it has, I think it's up to 20 decibel boost. But I just found to like turning the volume down on these here and then just boosting it to sort of like in the middle seems to give you like a really full clean sound or whatever. But
Well, this little pile is my stuff over here. I only play a floor tom snare cymbal, which is a thin crash. I recently turned this tambourine upside down because I'm really bad at hitting it. And if you hit it in the wrong spot on the other side, which is rubber, in the wrong spot, it sounds like nothing. And in the right spot, it sounds great. But the only song I play this tambourine in, I sing lead, so I don't actually see it. So I've just got to like find it. And then, yeah, now it sounds, I don't know, more jangly. I'm pretty sure they're both pearl, but I bought them separately. This was the last snare when Billy Hyde closed down in our hometown of Newcastle. And I needed a snare, and I was like, I'll take it. And I know it's a piccolo. I use Remo coated Emperor skins. And, wait, I think they're called heads. And I like to play my floor tom with this stick because I hit it harder because it's not all wimpy like this stick. This stick is the signature stick from 21 Pilots. I bought it because I like red. This one is the signature stick from, I think, the drummer from Seven Dust. So, you know, I'm just supporting those bands. I like to tape up the end because it gives me splinters. This one's nice because it's painted. My dream version of some drumsticks would be some custom drumsticks where they're both red, and this is one and this is the other, and I don't think anyone else would ever buy them because that's just crazy because no one else plays probably this exact setup and needs to bang this one as hard as they can like I do. And this little cymbal, I bought this size because it fits perfectly on my snare, so I only have to use one case because the snare case is for a normal size snare. My snare's all short and small, so I have room for all my stuff on top. Oh, and our sound guy from Australia, Billy, taped it up for me because he's also a drummer and a drum tech. So everyone's always like, wow, that's a lot of tape on your drum. I'm like, I don't know. It just sounded bad and now it sounds better. So if I have to replace this drum head, I'm in trouble because I can't do this myself. So that's my setup. We have a new album coming out May 10, released everywhere. We'll be touring it after that in America, Australia, Europe, UK. Love to get to Asia. Hopefully we can add some Asian dates on there. Maybe even South Africa, who knows. But yeah, check it out. It'll be called 3, and it's our 3rd album. If it's not out when you watch this, you can check out the first 2 albums. If it is out, check them out anyway. That's why we called it 3, so it gives you a bit of a hint that there's 2 before it. So yeah, hope you enjoy it, and I hope you enjoyed our rundown.